There, that's much better.
Hi guys, this is Marta, and today's movie is Alfred Hitchcock's Rope. Now, this is a peculiar one, and it tells the story of two young men that strangle their classmate just for the thrill of it. Hyde is born in their apartment, and right after, hosts a cocktail party inviting friends and family of the guy. If you have the chance, please go watch the movie first. Big spoilers ahead. Okay, so this is an important movie because it kind of laid the foundations of several cinematic devices that later became widely used in cinema. First of all, the owner. Rope is famous for being shot in seemingly one take, meaning that Hitchcock shot the story in a series of extra long takes and used the gimmick to connect the scenes and give a seamless look. Anytime the reel was running out of time, which was after 10 minutes or so, he did this. This is called hidden cuts, and it looks weird because it's unmotivated, but it kinda works because it's genuine and does the trick in just a couple of seconds. Basically, this is the same technique used in Birdman, except number of cuts in Rope, 5. Birdman, over 60.
Rupert.
Looking like a one continuous take, the film also has a real-time narrative where the time of the action corresponds to the running time of the movie. This allows us to experience the story at the same rhythm as the characters do, because there is no manipulation of time. Add to that, the one set location. All of the action takes place in one single setting. One setting movies are great because there is no space for us to escape, which helps increase tension and distress. And it is also interesting noticing how most of the time the characters end up wrangling over each other.
You don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
This is what I think of you stupid tulips!
All these combined elements let the story unfold right in front of our eyes and help build up the ultimate Hitchcockian element, tension, a strong emotional state that affects the imagination of the audience. In other words,
suspense. The suspense. Suspense.
Yep. Now let's get a little more specific. How does Hitchcock create and sharpen the suspense in Rope? First of all, through information. In his world,
you can only get the suspense element going by giving the audience information.
He was great because he cared about his audience, and he would structure his films constantly wondering, what are they thinking? In Rope, we witness the murder at the very beginning of the movie, while the guests at the party are completely unaware.
I hope David gets here soon.
Yes, where is David?
This is called dramatic irony. It makes our experience of the movie a mix of anticipation and doubt. We have a feeling that someone will find out the body, but we aren't quite sure until a certain point of crisis where it becomes absolutely clear. It is not a matter of what happens, but how it happens.
Brandon, who's that? The garage man with my car keys. Answer it.
What happens cannot be disconnected from where it happens. As we've mentioned, narrative and set are tied to each other. This way, dramatic irony is even more powerful because all the characters are confined in a single location, and this creates a certain sense of urgency. We can see how in Hitchcock's work, the house often becomes a trap and a place of confinement where threats hide.
What is more important when you choose a location? It must not be a background to me.
The director liked to play the game of cat and mouse both with his characters and his audience. And he eventually manages to make entrapment fun, and not because one anticipates escape from it, rather because this game is bound to turn on the cats.
Cat and mouse. Which is the cat and which is the mouse? Enough of that.
Even movement can help increase suspense. In Hitchcock, we can find emotion in the use of camera and in the blocking of characters, but things get interesting when you combine the two together. Like in this scene. The housekeeper is revealing some important information about Brandon and Philip to Rupert, their former professor. As he gets suspicious, we get a close-up of him. We pull back and kinda get a relief, thinking we're about to move something else, but Phillips comes in the frame and approaches the two. He is apparently upset by something and leaves, and we go back to an even warier Rupert. Here we can see how the concept of pre-cut actually works and how, in just one fluid choreographed motion, we can understand the whole meaning of a scene.
I'm in quite an embarrassing position.
Even the way actors stand and move around is important. Sometimes you can see someone keeping an eye on some other character, or interrupting a quarrel. Tension is also generated by the presence of someone, or their absence. For instance, Brandon, who is the brilliant mind of the crime, is very confident, and even though he is the villain, up to a certain point his presence reassures us because he is so comfortable in this situation, while Philip, who is weak and submissive, is so nervous and dazed that his state affects us psychologically. So when he is alone with guests, we feel unsafe. We kinda miss Brandon's backing. Their very dissimilar attitudes are clear to see through their body language.
To David.
Oh, and this one is just great. Add to all of this the lack of a film score. Hitchcock decided not to have any soundtrack because he wanted the movie to be as realistic as possible. So the only sounds we hear are the ambient sounds, and they are used in a very smart way. The doorbell buzzing or the phone ringing represent threats from the outside world. And sometimes sounds affect our foreshadowing events. Along the movie, there's always some kind of background noise during the party, so when this happens,
Rose, that's a lie! Philip.
the reaction is enhanced by the conscious and powerful use of silence. This is actually our first clue that Rupert is getting suspicious, and its dramatic importance is also highlighted by our rare straight cut. And lastly, Hitch spices the whole thing up with some humor.
Strangulation Day.
He believed that suspense doesn't have any value unless it's well balanced by humor, so he relished working some black comedy into his films. Rope has a complex system of puns, jokes, and double meanings that rely on the dramatic irony situation.
It isn't someone's birthday, is it? Don't look so worried, Kenneth. It's, really almost the opposite. The opposite?
So suspense and humor both basically rest upon the same mechanism, going wonderfully hand in hand.
A ceremonial altar, which you can heap with the foods for our sacrificial feast.
What is wonderful about an author like Hitchcock is that you think you know the man, but the flavors that reside in the repertoire of this guy are very varied.
Apart from self-satisfaction, Mr. Hitchcock, what is your basic motive for making the films that you do make?
Basic motive? Money. There's an old expression which says, all work and no play makes Jack.
Besides being a truly funny entertainer, he was a director in the true sense of the word. He made his own rules and forever changed the craft of filmmaking by directing what was really vital to him. That is our eyes on the screen, and most importantly, our feelings as an audience.
I've tried to play the audience like an organ. My main satisfaction is that film did something to an audience.